Are you living in the US without papers and wondering if there is any way you can get a green card? You're not alone. There are millions of people asking the same questions. And today, I'm going to break down real legal paths to US residency, even if you're undocumented. Listen, it's not easy, but it is possible. Stick with me because this could change everything for you. Hi, my name is Daven Ghandi, and I'm an immigrant turned immigration attorney, and I've been working with immigrants and their families for years. If you're undocumented, the journey to a green card may seem impossible, but there are actually several routes that might work for you. Let's walk through some of them together. Generally, if you are undocumented or you have unlawful presence in the United States, then you are not eligible to apply for the employment-based green cards unless you qualify under the 245I exception, which is for individuals who have had a visa petition filed for them before April 30th, 2001. If you're looking at family-based green cards, generally, if you have entered the US on a visa and you have since become undocumented, if you have a US citizen spouse or child over 21 years old, they could generally file for you and sponsor you for the green card. A lot of my clients that come to me, I really take a lot of joy from working with these cases because these are clients who have potentially been here for 30 years, 40 years without leaving the country, living in fear. And then to be able to see them towards the journey in gaining legal status, it is a very satisfying feeling. If you came in undocumented and you now have a spouse who is a US citizen or a green card holder, what could happen is that they could file the visa petition for you. However, you to file a waiver of your unlawful entry. That waiver is to show that in the case that you are removed from the country, your spouse or your parents who are green card holders or US citizens will suffer extreme hardship. If the family-based visa petitions don't apply, then I look at the humanitarian-based visas, and I'll go through some of them with you today. Number one, I will ask my clients if in the years that they've been in the United States, have they ever been a victim of a crime? And if they say yes, then I would look more into it and see if they would qualify for the U visa, which has a list of crimes. And if you show that you have been a victim of the crime, you've been helpful to law enforcement, you could potentially apply for the U visa. The crimes that fall under U visa, and the most common ones are felonious assault and domestic violence. If they don't qualify for U visa, I also ask them if they have ever been married to US citizens or green card holders, and if there had been abuse in the relationship, because then they could also qualify for VAWA, which is a humanitarian visa under the Violence Against Women Act. Assuming they don't qualify for either U visa or VAWA, I do follow up with more questions under the humanitarian-based visa routes, which is to ask them if they have been trafficked or forced to work without getting paid, because then they could potentially qualify for a T visa, which is a specific visa for victims of trafficking. Next, I also look at the age of my clients if they appear young. So I just ask them, hey, are you under 21 years old? And if they say yes, then I follow that up with, have you ever been abandoned, abused, or neglected by one or both of their parents? And if they say yes, then we would explore special immigrant juvenile status, which is a pathway to green cards for undocumented minor immigrants who have been abandoned, abused, or neglected by one or both parents. So assuming they don't qualify for any of the above, I then ask them if they have fear of returning to their home country. And if they say yes, then I would ask further questions like, why do you have the fear? What would happen if you return back home? It falls under one of the categories for asylum, which is if you have been persecuted or you have a fear of persecution based on your race, your religion, your nationality, your political opinion, or if you're part of a particular social group, for example, LGBTQ individuals, you could potentially qualify for asylum. Sometimes clients come to me and they are already in immigration proceedings, meaning they already have a date to appear before a judge. Then I look at how long they've been in the country and see if they may qualify for what's called a cancellation or removal, which is a defense to deportation. To qualify for a cancellation or removal case, you must be in removal proceedings first because, again, it's a defense. You cannot affirmatively file for it. You have to show that you have been in the United States for 10 years, that you have good moral character, meaning no arrests, no criminal records, nothing of that sort, And you have to show that you have a US citizen or green card holder or permanent resident, parent, spouse, or child under 21. And you will have to show that your removal will cause them exceptional and extremely unusual hardship. And sometimes I also look to see if clients would qualify for relief such as TPS, which is the temporary protected status, especially if their countries have been ravaged by some form of natural disaster, and the US has recognized that. DACA is also another option. And then there is a deferred enforced departure, and the latest being this year in July of 2024, when President Biden issued a memorandum for deferred action for nationals of Lebanon. And what that usually does is it grants them a period of stay in the United States where they could not be removed, and they could even be granted work authorization for up to 18 months. I know it can be overwhelming, but you don't have to go through this process alone. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And if you want personalized advice, click on the link in the description box to schedule a free call with my team. There's always a way forward. Let's figure it out together.